Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to go over unlocking the half rack capabilities. And you can put on basically any type of application that you have. So here's a preview of it. Check that out. Alright, let's break it down, show you what we're working with. Alright, this is what we're working with. So with my setup, I was wanting to have a half rack free weight setup for a long time. Whoa! I am from the future! Anyways, felt like I should probably describe a little bit before we get into it what the purpose of half racks will do for you. And what they do is they're able to hold your bar in certain positions, certain heights, so that way you're able to get under the bar for certain workouts, and they can also spot or hold the weight for you as a safety measure. So that way you're not wasting energy just getting your bar up to where it should be, to where you can even start to work out. So there you go, from the future. All right, take it away. And with the pandemic and everything, prices basically tumbled overnight. So I said, no thanks to that. I'm going to make my own version. And I'm not an engineer, and I don't recommend that you do what I'm doing, but I'm going to show you what I did. And if you can take some ideas from it, use it in your own way that helps you out, then by all means, go for it. So this is basically scraps that I found in my garage. It's a 4x4 piece of wood. These are just some scrap pieces of wood here, some screws, a little eye bolt. Well, this is an eye screw. And then a random screw that I found in my garage. And okay, I did have to buy these two pieces of metal. I just found these at my local hardware store. It was in the lumber area. I don't know what these are called, but they're basically metal angles that are pretty beefy and pretty thick. So what I did is, to think about it, this is where the bar is going to rest. I want it to be at an angle, so that's why I added this wood to it, so that way it would be at a little bit of an angle, so that way it would cradle the bar a little bit better. And then just as extra safety measure, this is kind of a little stopper. It never is needed, but hey, it's there, so I feel better. And I bet you feel better too. And then this is the way to attach it. And I'm going to show you what we're going to be attaching and how we're going to be attaching. And then this is where I'll show, it'll make sense in a second. But this is basically two little guides for it to be on the pole, and so it doesn't wiggle as much. And I added a second one underneath here, just as extra support. I'd never say do max effort reps, weight, or anything like this on this, but it's a great variation, and it's really fun. Been using it a whole bunch, so let's show you how it works and a little bit of strength that it has. Okay, so if you're going to build any variation like this, you want to make sure that your eye screw bolt is secure and strong and can hold a lot of weight. So what I like to do to test mine out is I'll just hook it up to here, and I'll just put my body weight on it. Here we go! Alright, I'd say it passed. So that way, you can at least put around 200 pounds on each side. So that's 400 pounds. That's more weight than I even have in my whole gym. So with that, I feel pretty safe on that end. Next you want to do is you want to test the lips strength right here. So let's give that a try. Okay, what I'm attaching this to is this right here. So you might have a different method, but for this setup, this is the best thing I've come up with. So it might be a little different than yours, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is this chain right here is going to hook to itself. And then, as it's wrapped around, I'll kind of give you a little aerial view. See that? So it's hooked around. Then you just hook this part onto the top. do a couple adjustments, put a little low that I like. Oh, let's go one more up. Right to here. Okay. So it looks like this. It's at an angle always. These little screws, you can see what they're for now. They make it so it hangs onto the rail more securely. So overall, it's pretty good. Now it does rotate a little bit. Oh, there we go. It does rotate if I really knocked it, and it could make it to where I wouldn't be able to re-rack it very well. So be careful. I've never had that happen because I'm careful. So just be mindful of what you're doing. But here's kind of the side profile of what you'd be looking at. Have it at an angle. That way the bar will always be rolled backwards deep into the lip. And then you've got a little safety thing here. So it's working pretty good. I'm very proud of it. So yeah, give it a try if you want. And then you just do the same thing on the other side. And then one pro tip thing that I did is, let me zoom you up over here. So you can see that the lip is overhanging this end. And I'll show you why when I put the bar on. We got our bar here. Just simply rest it on each side. So the way that I've got it is you can see the part that you load the weights are also on here, and then they overlap. So let me show you a pro tip on this on how to solve it. With the power of PVC. This stuff's amazing. All you do, slide it on just like this, and check that out. When you load up a plate, it's not going to hit, it's not going to bind, it's got some clearance. Is that nifty or what? Then, back to this part. I had it so it leans over just a little bit, about a ½ inch on this side and the other side, so it gives me an extra inch inward instead of outward. Just gives me basically more clearance. So the weight doesn't have to be exact when I re-rack it. I hope that makes sense. If not, well, I tried. All right, we got our bar on here. So next what we want to do is test the lip strength. So let's hop to it. Hop, hey, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, wow, wow, wow. Don't think anything happened. Let's try a little more weight. Okay, threw a 45 on each side. Let's try it again. Hey. Nothing bending. So I think it'll be just fine. And that's more weight than I would ever do anyways, with my body weight and the weight. So I think we'll call that a win. Here's your daily dose of pro tips. If you have 2-inch and 1-inch plates going on your 1-inch bar, problem you can run into with your 2-inch is it can easily go over the pipe, bind, get in the way, make it so you can't re-rack your weight. How do we solve this? Let me show you. If you have a small little weight of a 1-inch, put that on here first. Works as a little stopper. Then, as you put your big weight on, you're safe. Pro tips. If you have a setup that's similar to this, it's very nice to put this part on the little self spotter because it becomes fully adjustable in height. You can do squats. Or shoulder presses. Do bench. Rows. Curls. Anything you can think of. So I hope that helps some of you guys. It's just my idea on solving the problem of making a half rack build. So if that helps you out, let me know. As far as durability with this thing, I've been using it for probably 5-6 months or so. The only noticeable wearing, which is very little, is this is where the rail rests on the piece of wood. There's a tiny little dip, which actually makes it even better for holding. And then there's a tiny bit of scuffing on here because that's where it slides under the spotting plate. So it just holds it in very nicely. Haven't had any issues. Just put in 2 of these for double protection. Sometimes this will turn a tiny bit, but all you do is turn it back. And as you can see, it holds my body weight, no problem. Hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to hear it. I've got a few more videos of me wanting to show you how to build some more things, and then we're going to get into using it. That's where it gets fun. So hang on to your seats. It's going to be good.